No better way of doing something than to just do it. You know? Just trying to figure out the best way to get this message across, but there's no best way. There's only an effective and clear way. But there's more than one way to be effective and clear in your communication, which is the topic I want to bring up. Kind of leads into that point of there being more than one way. We're taught that there's only one way, and it's a very linear way. And I don't like that way because that way is not real to me. You know? I was taught that there was one way to communicate effectively, and that was through words. But I don't like words that often. It's not that I don't use them well. I use them better than most people. Even still, I always feel like I'm misunderstood, regardless of the words that I breathe out into the atmosphere. Because my words aren't laced. Like, I'm starting to realize what it is that I truly feel like is missing. What it is that I want. And I want a bigger capacity to satisfy my most basic of all needs. And that is to give and receive love. I want a bigger capacity for compassion. And I want to be able to tie everything I do in some sense to this beautiful and noble emotion. That comes welling through me from time to time. And I didn't know, I wasn't even aware of this thing, but like it wells through me, and then I find ways to suppress it. Like, I just hate using words because they're so fucking misused. I hate fucking using words because they're so fucking misused that you can't even communicate properly with them. Because people have their own conception of them that is so far away from the fucking truth that it's like you can't even communicate with words because like they're just so fucking exploited and violated and mistreated and abused and perversed that whenever you use a word that you truly and genuinely wish to use, it doesn't fucking matter because somebody else already has a concept of that word inside of your head or inside of their head that is completely and utterly bullshit. Take the word God, for example. God is a very noble being. But because the word God has been so fucking tainted over the years that nobody believes in such a noble presence. And nobody has a name for it. Because when they think of God, they think of a man made construct. They never experienced God. Because they experienced God, they wouldn't. Once you experience God, you stop doing almost all the shit that you, like 80% of like who I was is no more, you know? And like, I won't even say that that's like something that isn't out of the ordinary. Like, I don't think this rate of change, because every human being has their own rate of change, their own growth rate. I don't think my growth rate will I think there's a balance, I guess. I guess like when you're young, you're able to grow more, but like when you're old, you're not able to grow as much because there's not much growing to do, I guess. I don't know. But all I do know is that like something as noble as a feeling of compassion doesn't have a steady place to survive within this world. It doesn't have a place to be. Our ability to just give and receive love doesn't have a place to be on this planet in general. Like, in general, you have to be serious. You have to be tough. You have to be hard-nosed. You have to be objective. You have to be ruthless. Thick face, black heart. You can't win without having that element of destruction. Not only within you, but also within your grasp and well handled and well managed. You know, that killer instinct to perform a task cleanly and quickly and get it over with. I totally respect that side of the world. But what I do not respect is the skewedment. Or it's skewed, it's skewered to one side. And something as noble. If you ever felt or have been aware of the feeling of compassion, I can honestly make a point that compassion is the most noble and highest of all feelings. And yet, it doesn't have a place to survive within this world. It doesn't have a place to exist, to even exist within this world. Selflessly giving love does not have a place within this construct of a world that we live in right now. And it's a shame. And it's a shame, and it's one of my biggest pains. It's one of my biggest and deepest pains to not be able to give and love freely. It's just so sad. It's so heartbreaking. Such a heartbreaking thing. Just doesn't make sense. And then you see people who deserve the most amount of compassion possible. They don't even fucking open themselves up they don't even open themselves up to it. They don't even open. They've conditioned and trained themselves to close themselves off to love. The people who need it the most. The people who need the most love. The people who done been through it all. You can't even reach them. They're so cynical. They're so bitter. They're so disparaged. They're so hopeless. They're so unenthusiastic about life that you can't even... You know, there's a reason why monks bow their heads. You know, it's out of the respect of the natural divinity that every single human being possesses. And it's also acknowledging the fact that, like, if somebody, it's also a test, because if you bow your head to somebody and, like, somebody questions why you would show them that much respect, then the Buddhist monks or the Japanese monks or the Zen monks would interpret that as, oh, I have to bow my head even harder because you are it. You are God in a very far away place. Not physically in space, but as far as, like, connection. That sense of connection. You know, that sense of connection with the source. That's what they mean by far away. Because, like, the source is everything that you can see, hear, feel, taste, touch. Like, your experience itself is God. The experience itself is God. But the amount of awareness, the amount of connection you feel within that experience is the test. That's life. You know, I feel like compassion is something that helps accelerate that to its fullest. It does nothing but the most... Well, compassion can kill. Compassion can kill. But, like, that's the thing. People give, and then they become bitter and resentful when what they give isn't received. You know? That's another thing. It just sucks when your love isn't responded to or in a way that makes you feel like you're satisfied. Or that in a way that makes you feel like you're loved. Because compassion does work both ways. Giving works both ways. No matter what, bro. When you give, you actually have some side, like, it's not like you expect to receive, but, like, receiving is a natural part of giving. But, like, people gotta understand that, like, self-denial or to the point, like, self-sacrifice or giving to the point of self-denial is a form of selfishness. Even though you're giving, you're being selfish. You know why you're being selfish? Because it's not from a place of... It's not from that noble place. It's from a place of expectation. Or it's from a place of validation. That's a better... Yeah, it's from a place of... You want to be validated by somebody or something. Versus when you're compassionate, you don't need anything, you don't want anything, you don't expect anything, you don't require anything, nothing. You're just giving it. Just cause you want to. Just because you can. You don't expect a reward for being good. Because being good is the bottom line. That's like, everybody can be good. Everybody should be good, you know? And being good is its own reward. At the end of the day, being compassionate, being able to show compassion is its own reward. Being able to even be able to, in the slightest of ways, transfer love. Transfer something as noble as love. That's what it's all about. Bottom line, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Because, like, what would be the point of life if there wasn't anybody that you loved and that loved you back? Well, there would be no point in life. There wouldn't. There wouldn't be a point. The meaning is within our grasps. The meaning of life is within our grasps. And the mystery of meaning lies in us realizing our power. And I hate speaking positive crap because it always feels cheesy. Because the dipshits in power have made it to where positivity is fucking cheesy. And so nobody takes it seriously. And it's so fucking annoying. Because it's what the world fucking needs. It's more positivity. And it's not like they don't do this shit on purpose. It's all designed. It's all a fucking system. Of course they want people to think that positivity is cheesy. And it's lame. And it's not cool. Fuck out of here, bro. What's not cool, what's cheesy, what's lame is you being unhappy 90% of the time. How can anybody be unhappy 90% of their lifetime? And that's not even an exaggeration. That's not even an exaggerated number. That's not even unreasonable to think that vast majority of people, 90% of their life is unhappiness. And the other 10% are the memories that they make. You know? And it's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. It's bullshit for you to think that you deserve anything less but happiness. But compassion. But respect. But nobility. You deserve it all. Like, you deserve it all. You deserve everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want, you get. But I still have to be positive in my own way. In a way that's not cheesy. In a way that feels real and tangible and palpable. And in a way, I hope my positivity speaks upon the pain that I've had to experience in order to reach that point of positivity. Because you don't reach that point of positivity from being born in a state of total negativity without going through shit. And a lot of shit. And so much shit that you can't even speak upon it. And the worst part is it's not external. It's not things happening to you. It's all internal. It's all things that are you're experiencing that only you can experience. And you look crazy because only you can experience, and you cannot communicate with it. Because first off, it's hard to communicate an idea that is concrete using words. Try imagining communicating ideas complex and as in-depth as a spiritual experience using words with people who are brute materialists and do not think of anything outside of themselves and their body. They don't even think of themselves. Think of the thoughts that they have of themselves 24/7, constantly. Not even themselves, but the thoughts that they have of themselves. Not even themselves. People don't even think about themselves. People don't even think about themselves. They think of the thoughts that they have of themselves. And they put those thoughts on loop 24/7, 365, every single day. And I'm supposed to be sitting here being able to relate to these people? I do. Been there, done that. I'm not about to be all kumbaya all the time. I'm not about to give my compassion away. I am. Like, there's a certain level. Okay, there's tiers to compassion, I guess. There's tiers to compassion. There's like motherly levels of compassion. You just can't give that away for free. You have to reserve those for people who are really in tune with who you are as a person. But there's a base level line of compassion that can just be given to people freely without even ever expecting anything in return. We got to get to that level. Just the base level of like compassion. And that's just simple, like giving somebody a compliment. That's baseline level of compassion. Smiling at somebody, that's baseline. Making human contact is a baseline level of compassion, folks. Making human contact, making eye contact with somebody when you walk down the street, that's a basic level human line of compassion. Nothing else. And then you have like the tier 1, which is like random acts of kindness. Like holding the door for somebody, or buy somebody their coffee, or giving somebody, I don't care, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you've been, I don't care anything. If you buy somebody some snacks at any time, any point, anytime, they could have just ate dinner. Buying somebody snacks is always a valid option when it comes to compassion. You could always do good with snacks. That's like tier 1. Tier 2 is like, I feel like tier 2 is like giving somebody like a ride, or like helping somebody with practical matters. If you help people with practical matters, that's a different level of compassion. Tier 3 is like helping somebody create art, or like helping somebody like with their dream, or like helping somebody with their, and then like tier 4 is like familial compassion. That's like mother-son type shit. Like that level of compassion is reserved for the most important people that you have in your life. And I'm not saying we have to go there all the time. I'm just saying there should be more spaces within this universe that allows compassion to exist, to flourish, to shine, and to thrive. That's all I am saying. I am not saying that compassion is the way. I'm not saying compassion is the only way, but I am saying that compassion lies deep within the bosom of every man's heart, and it should be expressed because it's one of the most powerful and most endearing emotions that we have. That's all. Yeah. I love you all. If you've gone through this, fuck it. I don't care. Me doing this was enough. See you.